Hello, Facebook Live. Welcome to the Real Estate Show, episode 2. We're going to be talking about investing in Austin, Texas, buying your first investment property. We get a lot of questions from our clients who are looking to buy their first investment property or buy their 20th. And so we just want to do a quick review here over the next 5 to 7 minutes about what it takes to buy your first investment property, how to go about it, what to expect. So we have received a bunch of questions. We thank everybody for those. And feel free to chime in if you have any moving forward during this episode. So Catherine is handling the camera, and we work together in Austin, Texas. We're with Realtor Austin, and we're local brokers here, and we sell a lot of investment properties. So let's go ahead and get started.
So the first question and the biggest question that we were asked was, when should I buy my first investment property?
What a really, really good question, whoever asked that. So you should buy your first investment property when you're ready to buy it, right? When you have the funds ready to go. I would say as a general rule, most lenders are requiring 20 to 25% down on your first purchase. And you also need to have enough for closing costs. You need to have enough for vacancy, for reserves, for maintenance, for long-term repairs, roof, HVAC, so forth, and leasing fees. There's expenses incurred. So you want to have that saved up front so your first investment property doesn't become your first nightmare. And you definitely want to buy your first investment property after you buy your first home. So the lending laws are much more strict when you're buying an investment property. They require cash reserves, they require a larger down payment. The rates are sometimes even higher. And so your first home actually can become your first investment property. Live in it for a couple of years, end up renting it out. And so make sure you buy your first investment property after you buy your first homestead. It's also a protected asset from a lot of creditors, and so that's a really good thing to have a homestead.
All right, so the next question is, how and where do I find my first investment property?
How to find your first investment property? Well, you should work with a licensed realtor, somebody who has experience in buying investment properties themselves even, and that's a lot more than just telling people what to do. You should work with a realtor who actually is a teacher. It's very important to have somebody who will sit down and actually explain things to you. For example, when you're looking at a duplex, why should you pay $250,000 for this property? And they should be able to pull up comparables for you and explain it to you. They should be able to show you rental comparables in the neighborhood and kind of how long it's taken to lease properties for. They should be able to help you run a profit and loss and income expense statement, which will have all your rents, all your expenses, and then what your net is before or after your payment, depending how you run it. And I think the realtor should give you options, you know. You don't have to buy the first property you see. You can learn the market, take time. They can send you properties before you even go look, get an understanding of different areas in town, you know. And so, for example, in Austin, you know, where should you buy, right? There's some great areas in Austin where you should have very low vacancy and values still have plenty of room to rise. East Austin is always great. Things are moving farther east or even moving a little bit north along I-35 across from Highland Wall is a great little pocket that we've sold a couple properties in. Domain, I mean, who doesn't love the Domain? You know, it's an incredible shopping area. The values are still really, really low over there. You know, there's a lot of homes that are below the median Austin value. And so anytime you can get that in a great area with that kind of investment put in is always a good thing. It's a great long-term hold. Catherine, do we have anybody chiming in with any questions or anything at this point?
No questions yet, but
okay.
You know, I think
I'm looking here on my phone as well. I'm not ignoring y'all.
The last thing is, you know, what expectations should I have?
Oh, the other area I did want to talk about was University of Texas. University of Texas is one of the largest universities in the nation, if not the largest. We have a lot of experience in this market, and it's really nice because you end up with guarantors. And so on more traditional rentals, you won't have co-signers, guarantors or co-signers. And for example, college students, they have their parents guarantee the lease. And so sometimes you'll end up with, 2 to 6 students on a lease, and you'll have 2 to 6 parents guaranteeing it. Sometimes you'll have, 4 to 12 parents guaranteeing it. And so your odds of collecting the rent are drastically increasing when you have that. And so that the student market is really, really nice with the low vacancy, and students sometimes tend to stay a couple years if you catch them when they're lower classmen.
Okay, and then what expectations should I have?
Expectations. Patience. Patience is the number one key in real estate. So especially when you're in a great long-term market or long-term city, so such as Austin, Texas, where it's very stable. So when I mean patience, a couple things. You have to have patience with people, but you also have to have patience financially speaking. It takes time to make money on real estate. It's not a rat race, it's a marathon. And so if you're able to buy, set your goals, but if you're able to buy an investment property every, 1 to 3 years, you look up in 10, 12 years and you have a nice little portfolio. And so a lot of people think because of HGTV and all the shows and quick flips and flip or flop and, Chip and Joanna and all those, that you can go in, you can gut a house and you can turn it, 3 months later and make $200,000. It's very, very hard to do. But what you can do is buy a nice, stable asset where you're going to be covering your note every month and holding a long time. And so that's how you become very wealthy in real estate is by time. So you have to be able to own it. And don't always go for the quick flip. That's not always the best route. I can promise you that. So when you're buying a property, you definitely want it to cover your mortgage every month and your expenses. And so that's why you want to have reserves in place. You will have, for example, leasing fees. You'll have maintenance. And so I would definitely make sure that you have that money set aside for repairs that come up. And so make sure that's in line with your expectation of putting a little bit away every month in your cash flow. And then also, I would say, it's just not a get rich quick, but you can do extremely, extremely well. Austin, Texas is a great place to buy rental property. There are many other places across the country, but just buy a great property in a great location. It doesn't have to be new, but obviously the older property you get, the more maintenance you can get. And so you just need to budget for that. If you budget for that, you're gonna be okay. Make sure you get a really good inspection on the property. But if you have a good realtor in place, which I highly recommend you to have, then everything should go nice and smooth. And so, go ahead, Catherine.
Brian, when should an investor expect to make money on their investment?
That's a really good question. So every month you're gonna have a mortgage. If you can pay cash, that is the ultimate way to buy an investment property because your risk is zero, essentially. But you will make money over long term, and every month you will pay down principal. Your mortgage payment is broken down into principal and interest, and principal is paying down your loan balance. And so every month somebody's going to be paying you, call it $2,000 a month. Your mortgage may be $1,500 a month, and out of that $1,500, you may be paying off, anywhere from $400 to $1,000 a month, depending if you do a 15 or 30-year loan. And so somebody's paying you every month for you to own that property, which is the beautiful thing about real estate. And then beyond that, your value is going to be going up if you hold it long enough. And so your value is going up, your mortgage is going down, and so your equity is increasing. And so hopefully that answers your question.
Perfect. That's all that we have.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for watching Real Estate Show episode 2. We'll have another one coming at you soon.